Ladies and gentlemen, welcome you all to this international. Hello. आप क्या मेरी आवाज रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं फिर? सिंपली कम ऑन जूम और बहुत ज्यादा डिस्टर्ब मत कीजिए, ये सब गड़बड़ हो जाएगा. हेलो प्रोफेसर जैन, are you able to listen me?
Yes, yes.
So I was saying that with three institutions, Divi Welfare Society, STEM Institute, and International Educators Group in Washington, D.C., we decided to organize this conference on International Conference on Ancient Science, Technology, and Civilization. And our feeling is that in most parts of the world, the ancient science and civilization have been forgotten by the people. The invaders, whether it was in India, whether it was in Africa, or even in US, they destroyed all these things. And in detail about why we started this conference, what was the motive behind this, will be told to all of us by Professor Narendra Rustagi at 6 p.m. when we are going to inaugurate the conference. So welcome you all. I give this mic to Mohul. Please take it.
Honorable dignitaries, non-delegates, and all the participants present over here, a very good morning to one and all. First and foremost, I would like to bestow my thanks to each one of you who joined this conference. I, Anurag Kuswaha, a member of Dev Welfare Society, along with my co-host Mohul, bid a warm welcome to all the speakers who took out their valuable time out of their busy schedule. We are very honored to have you all here with us. I would like to offer my gratitude towards the Welfare Society, STEM Institute, and International Educators Group, whose sheer joint efforts made this conference possible. The theme of this conference is Ancient Science, Technology, and Civilization. It is divided into 7 sessions where 40 speakers from 30 universities and 10 countries are joining. Now, with a great honor and pleasure, I would like to welcome our chairperson for the first session, Professor A.K. Jain. Professor A.K. Jain is a professor of physics at IIT Roorkee. His areas of work include theoretical nuclear physics and guided PhD in experimental nuclear physics in recent years. He has also visited and worked at the Florida State University, McMaster University, Kuwait University, and Yangon University as a research associate. Dr. Jain has been the forefront of nuclear structure physics in India for the last 32 years, having contributed to a variety of areas and topics. He is probably the only one in India having published 2 authentic articles in the prestigious journal, The Reviews of Modern Physics. Finally, I request Professor A.K. Jain to start the session.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be a part of this conference. Professor Jagdish Rai has been kind enough to invite me to chair this session, and I can see many friends and colleagues here in the speakers list. It's a pleasure to meet all of them, although online. I hope that very soon we will be able to meet in person also. The first speaker of the session is Professor A.K. Gwal, whom I know since ancient times, and when we were in Banaras Hindu University. And he is a speaker with great flourish, and I invite him to talk about the concept of ancient science and earthquake precursors for alarming systems from ancient civilization. Professor A.K. Gwal, you have about 15 minutes. So I will give you a signal at about, say, 2 minutes before that. We will try to keep in time as much as possible. So I request you to start your presentation. And if you have any slides to share, please do so.
Actually, I have given my presentation to the conference people, but I don't know, I haven't seen anything.
Okay.
Otherwise, I can go with my presentation, but I'll miss few of the old sculptures during the days of Brahmirs and others, if at all it is not there. I was thinking in a very different mode, Professor Jain, that my paper should also be as in the PPT form. But anyhow, if it is not done, then I'll go along with that. With the gist of my program, the concept of ancient sciences and earthquake precursors for alarming system for ancient civilization.
Professor Gwal,
Hello.
people, they first want to introduce you to the public. Just only 2 minutes, please.
Okay. Hello, what can I do?
No, they want to introduce you.
Yeah, right.
I forgot.
Actually, from my friend, I needed that they know me, that is all.
See, we are not used to introductions.
Right. Yeah, right.
In our conferences, there is no introduction.
Right.
Okay, Professor Rai, Professor Rai,
At the end, they can do that.
Professor Rai,
Please start the lecture.
yeah, I will ask, request Professor Goal to introduce himself for a minute. We all know,
You see, Professor Jain,
yeah.
Professor Jain, I can't do that. I maybe he's hesitant to do all these things. And if
No,
you at all wanted to introduce me at the last, I'm going through my lecture. Okay.
no, just where you are and what are you doing, that's all.
I'm now retired. I'm on the at my home and enjoying my rest of other life. So nice.
Thank you.
And everything Professor Rai has given written and other things, people they can go through that. Now I'm really very thankful to all the societies, those who are having this international conference, and I have got time to speak out something. What I have done in my research career, it is one of the part, by the way, earthquake. The earth born and then earthquake is as a child of the earth, always happening at the age of at the born of the earth itself. I'll be giving a few of the things because I did tried that what to do that. Then I found that my all the rishis, munis, they have given so many things in medicine, science, technology, so many things, but we haven't gone through very nicely. That is what it is happening, that we are going to have in that particular things. And I must mention the Sanskrit language is the oldest language at the Vedas, at Puranas and other things they have given, and the premier institution of the country. This is basically now IITs and other great institution, they are working on to prove that the Sanskrit is indeed a scientific language. And the scientific at National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, have acknowledged that Sanskrit is the most scientific language in which the words are written exactly in the manner they are spoken throughout. Actually, I have collected few of the things from here and there and tried to mention few things, and to just conjugate the things like the concept of the earthquake in the ancient times and at the present. And as I have told you, that significant 16 sciences and technologies contributed by our ancient Indian scientists. The idea of the zero, the decimal, numerical simulation, Fibonacci numbers, even I don't know that basically, binary numbers, Chakrawala method and algorithm, ruler measurement, a theory of atom, the heliocentric theory, Wood's steel, means I'm telling you that all the engineering, all the science and all the technologies, our forefathers or the rishis, they smell it. And seamless metal globes, plastic surgery, cataract surgery, Ayurveda, iron cast roaches, they have been done by our rishis, munis, and they have done in a very nice way to have it. And as far as the earthquake is concerned, it is basically the result of the sudden release of stored energy in the earth crust that creates seismic waves. In its most generic sense, the word earthquake is used to describe an seismic event, whether a natural phenomena or an event caused by humans that generates seismic waves. On the basis of these things, so many things has been done. In the very olden days, China has made, Chinese, they have made seismograph, very olden times. And at the same time, modern digital seismograph, you might have heard of all these things. In nutshell, I wanted to say that these dynamics of the seismic waves has been divided into the three waves. The types of the wave, the P waves, that brings the small jolt or light shaking or not felt by the human being or even the animal creatures also. And then the S waves, that is a larger jolt or a strong shaking. And it is felt by everything. Sometimes all the buildings, even mountains, they can get into down with the jolt of that particular S wave. And also the beginning, the surface wave is the generally, we can say that is the, it can generate all these waves and it can be felt by the seismograph and other things. I'm sorry, it is not played before the viewers. Otherwise, I have given the earthquake tectonic plates. The idea of that throughout the world, how these tectonic plates has been divided, particularly the Eurasian plate, North American plate, African plate, South American, and it is all together, it is going to be decided. And we can go with, and in the Himalayan zone, we are having some sort of seismic zones. It is decided by our scientists. And this divergent plates boundary, convergent plate boundary, and transform plate boundary, where the things can be transformed. And this earthquake precursor parameter, which I mentioned, the precursor of the earthquake, it is just like an elephant. Once the blind people, they see the elephant and they can have got the so many things that it may be sort of what to say, that it is a rope, it is a fan, it is a wall, so many things they can decide it. It is a type of the earthquake concept we conceptualize in our sort of thinking and sort of thought process. But earth precursor parameters, when I used to say that radon emissions, and it is this prediction basically on the possibility of the earthquake predictions. And we cannot say exactly, but it is a precursor can give the predictions, and where we can say few of the things, humanities, the life and other things, so we can do that. And these precursor parameters, they are the radon emission. I'm talking of the today's sort of thing, and later I'll describe few things, ancient one. Dug well, water temperature, soil moisture, air temperature, groundwater, very low frequency observation, ultra low frequency observation, and high frequency and low frequency, all this observation can be observed in the near Earth atmosphere. And basically it can be included into the anospheric variations, land surface temperature, sea surface temperature, outgoing long wave radiations, it is given, surface latent heat flux, electromagnetic emissions, atmospheric phenomena, cloud formation, abnormal animal behavior. These are all included in the precursors. But basically, I have throughout last 2 decades, we have worked on only anospheric variations and the electromagnetic emissions, and we have found very good result, which is published. So many things has been done in that particular part. And if you can say that if quake, great losses mitigated by preparation, cost of alarm incidental, that is the alarm, and the false alarm, cost of alarm, panic and economic disruption, multiple distinction. And if there is no alarm, great losses worsened by being caught off guard. And normal, no losses, no disruption, no cost of that. That dilemma, to alarm or not to alarm. That is how we must be very careful about that, what to do in that particular part. Now I'm coming to few of the part which we could have realized according to the topic of the conference, that we found that the concept is dealt with detail in 32nd chapter of Varahamihira's Brihat Samhita. the greatness of the Ujjain-born scholar, philosopher, mathematician, and astronomer Varahamir is widely acknowledged. The 32-second chapter of the manuscript is devoted to sign of the earthquakes and correlates earthquakes with, they have correlated that particular part: cosmic, planetary influence, underground water, undersea activities, unusual clouds formations, abnormal behavior of animals. You might have seen that earlier I have mentioned few of the precursors, and out of that, the few of the very most important precursors, our Rishi Muni, they have already given it to. And I have also mentioned in this Brihat Samhita that 32nd chapters, but I'm really very sorry that I couldn't show in a particular part of that. Now, I wanted to make a link between the terrestrial Earth, the atmosphere, and the planetary effects, which we have done in the 19th and the 20th century. And the earthquake are induced by solar system, planetary attraction act as a trigger force. They are all related to the astronomical things and other part, which mentioned by Varahamiras during ancient times. Sea tide is a consequence of relative slowdown of the rotational speed of Earth, rotational speed and angular momentum of the Earth triggering plates. Planets interact with each other, influencing earthquake. Gravitational stresses of solar system may causes slowdown of rotational speed of the Earth and stimulates the Earth plate to move, generating earthquake. These are all have been there. They have been mentioned and they have been worked out in detail as a scientist and other things. And one of the things which I mentioned, wanted to mention, that some hold that an earthquake is caused by large animals living in the midst of the ocean, while other opine that it is the result of the rest that is a valid that is avail of the elephants of the quantum tired by the weight of the earth. You see, quarter of the weight tide. I tell you that Barahamids expected all these things, and people, they feel that there is a very big animal in the sea which is making the earthquake tremors. And also the chemist Zhongguo Shao, who's a Chinese, a formation can foretell upcoming earthquake with remarkable accuracy between 1994 and 2001 alone. His notification to the United States Geological Survey were accurate 60% of the time, and they have given upcoming earthquake with remarkable accuracies, and they have given some sort of formation of the clouds and other things. On the basis of that, they have made it. And we have divided this earthquake happenings: thermal, mechanical, electromagnetic. Thermal, basically air temperature growth, latent heat release, humidity drop. It is related to the earth, by the way. Mechanical is jet streams, air pressure drop, earthquake clouds formation, convection, ions uplift change, separation, drift, and anomalous effect they are included in. Ion hybridization, the ionization of the alpha particles, fault attraction, permeability, changes gas. They have given all the things. And once it is in the 19th and 20th centuries, the most important part they have done with the electromagnetic emissions, and where we involved, by the way, very low frequency noises, trapping, cyclotron interaction, particle precipitation. They are all included in while having the precursor for the earthquake. Field line irregularities in the magnetosphere, electric field effects within the ionosphere, atmosphere electric fields, air conductivity changes, and all these things. And the best part which has been shown, basically, it is the cloud formation. Satellite has got the images showing vapor cloud formation in southern Iran just prior to the 2008 earthquake. they have mentioned, and they have also given the systematic design of the clouds before the earthquake. And this is a sort of precursor they wanted to mention it. And this view they have given in so many satellites I have given, but they have got the very perfect sort of stimulation effect, how this earthquake through the clouds formation can be predicted well before the earthquake happens. And so many things, the satellite cloud anomalies appeared over Italy main fault system. So many things has been studied. And yeah, I'm just reaching to the thanks, basically, no problem. Time series of the cloud para anomalies and earthquake occurrences in Italy has been given very well. And also the graphical structure in terms of linear regression of the cloud anomaly, duration of the magnitude has been given. And at last, the conclude I can give, the intense heat and pressure at faults due to the friction between a section of crust enables underground water vapor to collect in cracks around larger faults. These can be released to the surface, where the amount of vapor can indicates the strength and thus magnitude of the impending earthquake. Once the vapor is released, and so many technologies, so many science that they have developed, forming clouds roughly along the fault line, fueled from the point of vapor. And this release is accompanied by a drop in strength. Actually, they are the very ticklish words, sentences, but it is related to the earthquake precursor. That is how I am just pronouncing over here. According to the Varamir, he speaks of unusual cloud formation a week before the earthquake formation. They have given well documented things in the Varamira Samhita. Changes in the Earth's magnetic field before a quake could have impact on clouds and other atmospheric phenomena. Only at the last, I wanted to say that this change in the Earth's magnetic field, which is well documented with the help of the electromagnetic emission and electromagnetic waves, and where we have got some of the mastery in prediction of the earthquake. Precursors we have given so many, it has been published also in so many journals of the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Gwal, for a very wonderful talk. And there are many things that I learned from your talk about the precursors. I was not aware that even clouds carry the information about the earthquakes. That's very something very strange to me. We can discuss it sometimes, actually.
Yeah, nuclear physics is also one of the very good parameter to decide.
Yes,
Alpha particles they are there. Okay.
Yes. So I thank you very much for your presentation.
So nice.
I don't know if there are any possibility of questions here, because on this platform I see only speakers.
Yeah, I think. Okay, right.
Not the participants. So, Professor Rai, where are the participants?
You have the list. The next participant is that list.
No, I mean audience.
Audience are here. At least all the persons included in this session, they are listening us.
Yeah, they are. But are there any other persons also who may ask questions or?
No. For example, one Aparna Datta was there in the morning, and she is not in this session. Maybe other people, they are hiding, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
And the second speaker in the list, Dr. Avdesh Kumar, he will be talking at the end.
Yeah, that's right. I have this information.
Yeah,
so I would like to now invite Dr. Vishnu Chandra to speak on art of map making and ancient science. And can he start right now, or is there any?
I can, sir, I can start right now.
Yeah.
And I have shared my presentation also. I think host has disabled sharing of my presentation from my side. So
Okay.
if
So can you upload the presentation?
either
from
they
the
can
host?
upload my presentation or they allow me to share.
Acha, okay, you are now the host, so you can do it.
Okay, thank you.
You can share the presentation.
It's allowed, sir. Sir, we have the introduction. Dr. Vishnu
Yeah,
Chandra obtained his BSc degree from Garhwal University, Srinagar, Uttarakhand. He obtained his MSc, MPhil, and MTech in Electronics and Communication from Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee. Dr. Vishnu Chandra is one of the innovators and prominent scientists in geospatial technology and service in India. More than 3 decades, he has been serving the Government of India of last 15 years as Deputy Director General and head of the group since at National Information Center. In addition to this, he was head of the project division of NIC associated with Ministry of Power, Ministry of Environment, and Ministry of Forest and Climate Change. Recently, in this month, Vishnu Chandra retired from Government of India services. So please,
Okay.
I request.
Yeah, Dr. Vishnu Chandra, you may start your presentation. Your
My
talk.
screen is visible, sir.
Yeah, it is visible, and we
Thank
can
you.
listen to you.
Thank you very much. And in fact, Professor Goel has already given a lot of insight about the subject, particularly related to earthquake. And at the outset, I'm thankful to organizers, and also I am extremely grateful to my gurus, Dr. Jagdish Roy and Professor A.K. Jain Sahab, because whatever the foundation in my career I have achieved is because of IIT Roorkee and my association with Professor Rai and Professor Jain. So this is what with highly, I am feeling really proud to be associated with that. Now, as Professor Goel has already given, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Professor Goel has already talked about precursors related to earthquake, but domain like earthquake, ultimately it relates to earth systems, and earth systems relate to art of map making. It relates to art of map making and geography. So any phenomena on the earth, below earth, above earth has to be correlated with geography. So all the what you call ancient civilization, culture, in fact, things from Vedic age, India has done a lot of things in map making, and that is what I am going to cover in my presentation. In fact, I have tried to combine ancient history of map making and geography with current system of map making and organizations in India. And then I am in a meeting. Sorry. And then how things, because as per my qualification is concerned, I am not a geographer or cartographer. My growth in government system started with emergence of IT revolution in the country. And in early 90s, when IT system for government has started, that is the time I got the opportunity to enter in area of what you call geographical information system. So in early 90s, when map used to be very restricted product, map used to be available as to very few people in the country. My beginning as an IT professional happened in this domain. So how things has moved from ancient art of map making, and then various organizations which have been built, institutions created in India in map making, moved from manual to digital area and integration with IT systems, leading to digital transformation in the country. So geography is now becoming a core part of digital transformation in the country, and all the domain knowledge aspects, which is a traditional knowledge of physics, mathematics, and science, which Professor Gwal has talked about, has to converge with digital system for better analytics and decision making. Now, that is what now how at a time scale from starting from say 5,000 years back during Vedic age, Indus Valley civilization, Aryan civilization, and so on, and move to what you call when Britishers came in India, East India Company came, and they started mapping Indian territory to map their imperialistic territory and set the systems for that. And then moving those maps to digital age and then leading to digital transformation in today's current scenario. So this is what my flow of the presentation. As you know, geography comes from Greek word, what you call geos, and grapho meaning description. And it covers landscape, natural elements, as well as human activity. Geography, physical, topography, climate, water, soil, vegetation. Human means population, economic activities, cities, boundaries, and limits. So ultimately, all these aspects, some of the aspects Professor Gwal has talked about, which is basically ultimately intelligence on map comes from what you call physical sciences. So any intelligence above earth, below earth, on earth will come from physical sciences. Any analytical value come from physical sciences, and map will be a platform to represent and visualize that. Cartography is the what you call science and art of map making, and maps have existed since the Vedic age, Indus Valley, Mauryan, Egyptian, Mesopotamian, Chinese civilization, dating back to 6,000 years. This is give in nutshell what you call the entire history in single slide, how it happens from Indus Valley time, and various events, activities related to map making, like say from Mughal, say Mauryan dynasty, Aryan civilization, and things like Surya Siddhant brought by Aryabhatta, which calculates and measure even Earth circumference, which is very highly accurate in comparison to today's measurement. So then that thing comes around 1700 when Britishers started coming, setting up their mapping system for mapping of their imperialistic territory. The mapping infrastructure has been set up, and various events like consolidation of maps, great trigonometric surveys, digital mapping, all those things has happened. So this entire area where from Indus Valley civilization to Aryan civilization, for say observations of Ujjain, which Professor Gwal has also talked about, Salva Sutra, Surya Siddhant of Aryabhatta, then creating some kind of geodetic system by Britishers to measure the height of Everest, great trigonometric survey, all those things happen. And then the consolidation of map reference system, ground control system, even during the Mughal period, Todermal maps, revenue maps generated by Todermal, and the technology deployed. In fact, you go around Delhi, you will find a ground control monuments called Kos Minars. So those are there since Mughal period. So all those infrastructure, when measurement of land and delineation of boundaries are there since Vedic age, and various references are available regarding that. This is what is again in terms of organizational and institutional structure created for cartography, map making, and in Indian context. Starting from Kautilya's Arthashastra in the Mauryan period, recognizing the relevance of land revenue collection from productive farmland in villages with settled population and farmer, The Shukra Niti also talks of recognition of revenue estimation from cultivated land based on irrigated and rain-fed land. In Tamil Nadu, in Tanjore particularly, what has happened, the unit of measurement of land is a finger. Mughal land revenue administrative maps unit Ilahi Gaz was created by Todermal. Then Survey of India came into picture in 1767. Geological Survey of India in 1851, Marine Survey, National Hydrographic Office in 1874, IMT came in 1875, and so on. All these organizations
Please
came
switch
into
off your mic. Those who are not speaking, they may switch off their mic.
all these organizations came.
Professor
which
Ashok Kumar
deals
Goa,
with
sir,
maps
please mute your
and
mic.
map making.
We all are requesting you to mute your mic.
Sir, my voice is clear. Hello? Hello? So all these organizations dealing with cartography and map making was created, some of them in pre-independence era and some of them after 1947. Take
please.
specific kind of mapping.
Vishnu Chandra,
Yeah.
one moment, please.
Yeah.
All of you are requested to kindly mute your microphone because it is disturbing, it is producing noise. Please, all of you, except Vishnu Chandra.
Sir.
Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Vishnu Chandra.
Then, after independence, Indian Space Resource Organization, 1969, National Remote Sensing Center, 1974, and organization like Town and Country Planning, Central Groundwater Board, National Soil Survey, all these has emerged as a mapping organization with a mandate in specific areas. This is some major activity history which has happened in geographical sciences. In 6th century BC, ancient Greek geocentric model has come. In 14th century, Ibn al-Shatir, Egypt and Arabian mapping. 1543, Copernicus heliocentric model. Now 1572, Tycho Brahe accurate measurement. 1609 to 10, Galileo heliocentric measurement. Kepler was the first scientist to use the word satellite, and he has come out with laws of planetary motion. 3 laws of planetary motion is a basic physics. Newton gravity's principles has come. 1869-79, first frictional artificial satellite concept has emerged. 1903, first orbit of Earth calculated. 1928, first description of a space station. All this history, 45 satellite communication systems, 57, first artificial satellite launch. This is the whole history of map making, technology advances in map making at various period of history. Like this, the first space shuttle, you can just read it. All this has started happening. So if you talk about history of mankind, initially during Babylon days in 4 BC, simple sketches were used. Delicate mats of silk from China has been created. There was a mathematician called Ptolemy, which in 150 AD, he was an astronomer and mathematician and geographer. His references came with the concept of longitude, latitude lines, and this system of European geographic thinking by imposing mathematical rules to the composition of maps. In the Middle Age, when Arabian and Egyptian started creating very decorative maps and taking Jerusalem as a central point of world map. It is a religious angle also, but in the Middle Age, with those printing press also invented and producing maps and printing it that technology has also emerged. The map making and cartography over the period of time using modern satellite system and surveying technique has emerged, and various kind of maps, figurative maps, astronomical maps, statistical maps, thematic maps, navigational chart, topographic maps, nautical charts, and so many products of map has emerged. Then in terms of technology advances, from manual map making, hand drawing, magnetic, using compass and magnetic media, mechanical, machine process and printing, optical, using telescopic sighting instruments and projection, photochemical, photogrammetry, and then now digital and electronic systems. So this is how the technology advancement in map making has happened. In terms of aerial mapping, the experiment has started with dark room in hot air balloon, kites, pigeons, and rockets, aerial photographs from airplanes, and use of aerial photographs of map making. Then came the information age, which has affected the art of map making. Information systems has emerged. Manual survey systems has emerged. Aerial imaging services has emerged. Use of S8 plotter, analytical plotter, photogrammetric softwares, use of satellite images, now drone images, lidar survey. There are so many kind of survey techniques available on ground. And then currently we are using use of GIS in map making. Now this use of GIS is further transformed in integration with ICT technologies and World Wide Web technologies. Survey of India is a national mapping organization which is responsible for National Topographic Database since 1767. So Survey of India has a huge history.
Dr. Vishnu Chandra, your time is over.
I will quickly cover.
Yeah.
So this is the mandate of Survey of India. These are the products and things which are provided by Survey of India. Administrative boundaries, toponymy. ISRO has mandate of launching of satellites. PSV 209 satellites in 29 countries. Communication satellite, remote sensing satellite, navigation satellites. I'm just scanning through. And they are providing natural resource data and also mapping platform and various ground segment of Earth observation satellite, as well as Antarctica ground station Earth observation satellites. These are some of the images from their Bhuvan and Bhunidhi portal, where you can access satellite imageries and natural resource data. Then move to digital transformation, building data standards. NSDI is a DST organization, NNRMS is ISRO organization, then Bureau of Indian Standards, data integration of map making with IT. This growth has happened. And then spatial data infrastructure, integrating geographic content with technology and tools, with cooperation of organizations, and with proper policy on access for governance of geographic data. These are the structures, various schemas, and data description as a part of SDI is being built in the country in a collaborative mode. Web services standards to share and access the maps as a part of digital transformation. You can access the map as a service from cloud. Then integration with, Professor Gwal has talked about the domain knowledge. Now analytical value in integrating map making with AI/ML. Any kind of precursors or forecasting for say earthquake based on certain parameters and attribute at top of geographic platform. Now all these emerging technologies and integration is happening today. Integration with IoT sensors for real time and creating map on demand. This is what is happening. NIC is, as a technology partner, is facilitating this with IT infrastructure, with cloud infrastructure and network, with NK and National Knowledge Network connecting 1800 plus institutes across the country, with NIC's GIS platform called Bharat Maps, where all data from Survey of India, ISRO, RGI, and many organizations has been integrated, and map apps as a service has been given to various governance organizations. This is just a snapshot. Then creating heterogeneous systems of systems integrating various information at top of cloud with cybersecurity infrastructure on a common map service, which say for transport system, financial service, city, smart city, all those things, integration as a system for governance and planning. And finally, I will say geography is an ancient science and art of map making is practiced since Vedic age. With growth of technology and new scientific intervention, map making has graduated from manual to digital. And with the emergence of digital platform, map as a service has already becoming part of planning governance system, including citizen services. The point which I want to make, geography represents science of where, is a natural platform for parallel processing where all man-made and natural events interact simultaneously to be analyzed at top of map. Our computing traditionally is sequential, which is now undergoing major transformation with arrival of cloud infrastructure, high-speed networks, supercomputing, quantum computing, AI, ML, big data, IoT, and sensors is leading to new paradigm of building map service using real-time data and data to create on-demand maps, and data may be coming from multiple platforms like drone, satellite, IoT, and so on. Real challenge is to converge traditional knowledge of science with emerging technologies to achieve digital transformation as per Honorable PM's Atmanirbhar Bharat goals. This needs collaboration, partnership among academia, researchers, industry, and government. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vishnu Chandra. It was a wonderful talk. In fact, you have such wealth of information, and we would require almost 1 hour at least to understand everything that you want to convey. So
my point is, sir, the domain knowledge of science has to converge on the digital transformation platforms to give better analytics for the people of the country.
Yes. You are very correct. And I think we will have an occasion to listen to you again in more detail.
Thank you.
And have a discussion also on this topic, because it's so important nowadays. It's one of the most important domains. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
And if there are any questions here from the participants, 1 or 2 questions they may probably ask it. I welcome a question. Anybody wants to clarify something? Or... Yeah. Okay. So,
but I would, I would like to compliment Professor Chandra, because I can relate whatever information he has given. I am from ISRO, and
Please go ahead.
ISRO.
Your voice is.
So I can relate everything whatever he was presenting.
Thank you so much. So
one announcement, Professor Jain.
Yes.
The whole proceeding of the conference is live on Facebook of Divi Welfare Society.
Yes.
And there are many people in the country or even abroad, they are listening it.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. And I think next time we should have them on the same platform, so that there can be a discussion. And you should allow more time to the speakers. Yes. Otherwise, the fun of this talk is lost, We should discuss, we should, ask questions, we should learn more about these things then.
Next time we will have your hall in your institute.
Yes.
Physical
yes. You are most welcome to use my institute's hall in Banaras, and we will hold it there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Dr. Vishnu, it's a wonderful occasion to meet you and listen to your talk. I now invite Dr. Arvind Kumar Singh who is very much here. He will talk about ancient science and technology of Bharat. And Dr. Arvind Kumar Singh is from ISRO. And if some introduction may be given, it would be nice.
Yes, sir. Dr. Arvind Kumar Singh is PhD from IIT Roorkee. He is serving Indian Space Research Organization. Dr. Arvind Kumar Singh is an excellent personality. He has a great scientific aptitude. He always brings out brilliant and innovative ideas in the field of satellite remote sensing, data processing, radiometric corrections, and astronomical data simulations. His noble and simple nature is the key strength for his success. Dr. Singh is an excellent photographer too.
Very nice, Dr. Arvind Kumar Singh. Please come online.
Sir, I'm online actually. I hope you people are able to hear me.
Yeah, can you switch on your video?
Yeah, sure.
Wonderful.
On the outset, actually, I would like to thank you, Professor Jagdish Rai, to invite me for this conference. And for by this medium, at least, I am seeing Professor Jain after 20 years. So, I studied nuclear physics from you, sir,
Oh,
during my
wonderful.
MSc.
So nice.
MSc, and I did PhD with Professor Jagdish Rai and Professor Srinivas Pandey of Earth Sciences Department. Okay, so now I'll start. Are you able to see my presentation?
Not yet, but you share it. Let me see. It is not still online. It is coming. Yeah, it has come now. Yeah,
Okay.
we can see that.
Already given some idea about the ancient sciences and technologies, like he was talking about earthquake and then Varamir. Now, Professor Chandra also talked about this map making, and he talked about Aryabhatta, Brahm Samhita.
I think you may
Hey, what is
switch off
those
your
actually?
video.
And why?
Switch off your video, then
I'll do that. I'll do that.
yeah, link may be better then.
Yeah, actually, I'm having a very unstable internet connection since it is done or still it is on.
Your on picture, you are still showing up as a. You can switch off your video. Then the link may be better. We can see the presentation. No, don't switch off your.
No, I'm coming to, sir. Actually, I'm.
Okay.
There is a problem, it seems.
Oh, you are at ISRO. You must be having the best internet.
No, actually, I cannot
All
use
the
the
satellites are
ISRO's net
controlled by
here.
ISRO. Yeah, now we see. Yeah.
Now, so I'll start with the story of Robert Oppenheimer. Professor Jain can appreciate that actually. In 1939, when people were feared about that Hitler will get the hold of the nuclear weapon, so few scientists wrote a letter to Roosevelt, President Roosevelt, and Roosevelt created a committee or a team of scientists, and Robert Oppenheimer was heading that team. That was called the Project Manhattan. And they did the test on 16th July 1945 at 5:30 a.m. in Mexico. So interesting part is that Oppenheimer was basically, he learned Sanskrit and he learned just to read the Bhagavad Gita. Now, if you go little further, after the test, he basically mentioned two slok from the chapter 11 of slok 12 and 32. So I'll not read the slok, but the point is here, he was mentioning that the atom bomb, whatever they have tested, the glory is like thousands of suns. And he himself called like that, I have become time and death, who can destroy whole world. And later, after some time, one student asked him that the bomb in the Project Manhattan was the first one in this world. His answer was, it is the first one in the modern age. So now you can understand, he mentioned the modern age, not the entire ages of the humankind. So there was a void that it may happen in some other time. So he was not mentioning, he was not saying, but he stopped at this point. Now let us come to the Einstein. So Einstein, that I have read Bhagavad Gita, lot of investigations. I basically what I have done, basically I was intrigued by the Bhagavad Gita chapter and then shlokas, whatever I have read. Very interesting that in 19th century and 20th century, lot of scientists from West were Sanskrit language, they're learning the Sanskrit languages, and they were reading the Bhagavad Gita along with Purans, Veds, other thing. So this is slide. Whenever our rishis say that world is Maya, so people normally, our young ages people say that that's nonsense. Whenever Elon Musk said that we are probably living in the virtual stimulation, so people say technology, the information they have given as a Rig Veda, all Vedas, Gita and other thing. So people can get hold of all those informations. And an astronomer, he has written Sulabh Sutra. And he is a similar, like Pythagoras, he has given that a rope stretched along the length of diagonal produces an area which is the vertical and horizontal sides make together. So it is a like he was basically, he has written like Aryabhatiya, is very, very rich book. One Mr. Amartya Kumar Datta is a researcher who is basically, he has dedicated his whole life to study the Aryabhatta in his book. He has brought out few concepts from the Aryabhatta. The rotation of Earth causes the nakshatra, dina, basically sidereal days. And at that time, during 500 AD, he was mentioning that the boat moving, just a person in a boat moving forward sees the stationary object as moving backward. Just so does an observer in Lanka sees the fixed stars moving the westward. So Lanka means here the equator. So he was, and you know that he was, he invented the zero, he given the number value pi. Now let us come to some more Brahmagupta, Mahaviracharya, Bhaskaracharya. So this Brahmagupta was a mathematician and astronomer. He Brahmisput Siddhanta he has written. He has given number system, Fibonacci sequence, interpolation, arithmetic, geometric series, Pythagorean table, sine cosine. Mahaviracharya, he was there in 850 AD, around 850 AD. He has written Ganit Sar Sangrah. He was a great mathematician. He was given LCM, HCF, permutation, combination, everything, whatever we read today as a elementary subject, it was given that time itself. Bhaskaracharya too, he was around 1100 AD. He has given algebra, arithmetic, trigonometry, astronomy, and he has written the Siddhant Shiromani. Siddhant Shiromani, basically, he has also proved the theorem of Pythagoras, which was given by Bodhayan. He was also mentioned that sidereal here. Now, let us come to some more interesting scientists like Kana. His actually age is when he was there, it is not very clear. And he was a metaphysicist, physicist, and he was writing about ethics and atomism. He has written a Vaisheshika Sutra. And all three laws of motion was given by Newton, as we know that given by Newton was written in the Vaisheshika Sutra. He also given that the smallest individual form of matter is a Parmanu. That is, and it was given in 600 BC itself, roughly 2600 years ago. Varahmir, morning Wall sir was mentioning about the Varahmir. He was basically a hydrologist, and he has given the geology, ecology, astrology. He has written 5 Siddhants. Surya Siddhanta was written by Varahmir. And then Indian sage, he predicted that there may be water on Mars. So if he's predicted water on Mars, maybe he was knowing about the solar system. Now, Nagarjuna, Rishi Sushruta. Nagarjuna was basically of Nalanda University, ancient Nalanda University, and he has written Ras Ratnakara. Gold plating technique given by Nagarjuna is still in use. Iron pillar of Delhi, if you know that this is still not rusted. Rishi Sushruta. They dedicated their life to Ayurveda and Yoga. And Patanjali Yoga Sutra, you know that we practice every day. Charak Samhita, Ayurveda is basically totally based on Charak Samhita. Now, it was mentioned that it is in Yajurveda. It is mentioned that sun holds the earth and the celestial region. Sun is the attracting power. Means they were knowing about the gravitational pull by sun. Also, we know that Hindu festival and Panchang, right? So Hindu festivals and Panchangs are they follow the old ancient technique to predict the our festival. Practiced since ages, since earlier history told is about 10,000 years or 6,000 years. So, but if you see, the Kumbh Mela is based on the Jupiter cycle. Jupiter takes 12 years around the sun. So, how these people were knowing that they have the around 6,000 years ago that this is our solar system has 9 planets, Navagrah. Similarly, 7 horses are nothing but the Vibgyor. Rigved, Tarni Vishwadarsato Jyotish Kardasi Surya Vishwa Bhasurochna. Tatha Sa Samartya Yojana Sahar Satesa Yojane Nivish Shardhina Karamaman is nothing but the telling the speed of light in Rigveda. And speed of light, if you calculate using this conversions, that it comes around 2.66 10 to the power 5 kilometer per second. And today's accepted speed of light is 2.99 10 to the power 5 kilometer per second. So quite close. And Rig Veda also mentioned about the lunar eclipse and solar eclipse. Also, one Patrick Bruckman, one of the person, highly influential person, social media person, he has written that around 10,000 BC Rig Veda, this 108 number, everybody knows that in our Hindu Sanatan Dharma, that 108 is very important. How this 108 came? So if you consider 108 moons, then you can take the distance from Earth to moon. If you consider 108 suns, then you can create a distance from Earth to sun. And if you create 108 Earth's diameter, then you can create the diameter of the sun. These are the basically, these numbers are mentioned each and every Vedas, Purans, everywhere. And recently, Tulsidas ji written Juk Sahastra Yojan Par Bhanu, Lilo Tai Madhur Phal Jano. One can question that Lilo Tai Madhur Phal Jano, basically he swallowed the sun. You can question that, obviously is a metaphor. But what information he has given that Juk Sahastra Yojan Par Bhanu, if you calculate by this today's conversion methods, comes around 15 crore kilometers. That is the distance from Earth to Sun. Like this Purans, Brahman, Brahma, Garud Puran, all these Purans basically they tells about the creation, preservation, destruction of universe. They tells about the cosmology, geography, good governance, diplomacy. You know that Chanakya was highly influenced by these Purans, and he has taken the good governance chapter from there and then reproduced in his book. Diplomacy, trade, warcraft, medicine, daily life, what not. They have written everything. If you see the right side of bottom right side, Vara Avatar, obviously no one can hold the earth. That's true. That is a metaphor. But now what is important? Now this year, you know that in Bhagavat, they have mentioned that our ears can give you the direction. So you can recognize the
Arvind,
and rest in the womb of the mother. Everything they have given. in the
Arvind,
dictate.
your time is over.
Yes, sir. I'm just coming to end actually.
Okay, okay.
So this is a Kailash temple. It was cut down from top to bottom. Time-tested knowledge. In Hampi, if you see the road runner, in Hampi sculpture, there is a road runner. Now people are using road runner. 2000 years ago, bicycles were engraved in the punch. And also Mona Lisa is obviously a beautiful painting, but we were creating 3D art and much more before the Mona Lisa. Proof of our mega mind. In Tajikistan, they have found that stories of Panchatantra on the rocks. In Charma, Chhattisgarh, in around 10,000-year-old rock painting depicting aliens and UFOs. So the truth, Ramayana is real now, experts are believing. Mahabharat, now Manpuri, just now, a few days back, around 2 months back, they have recovered so many हथियार और जो वो लोग यूज करते थे वो सब वहां से निकाला गया. Carl Sagan, we know that the most famous modern astrophysicist, he has basically produced a Cosmos web series, and he has written and he one episode of his web series. Basically, he did shoot off in the India itself, and he was basically he has written that the time scale given in the Hindus religion textbooks, they are matching with the today's modern scientific cosmology. Now, if Nalanda would have not burnt into the 1202, then Cambridge, that founded in 1209. So the story would have been different. Bharat, we are having residential universities around 1,000 years ago. So final thoughts. Why myth? What is a myth? Basically, I'm giving two ideas. Sanatan Dharma and science, basically, they are inseparable, unlike any other religion like Christianity or Islam. So therefore, West historians and scientific writers took advantage of this situation and created the wrong perception that knowledge presented in the religious text is bogus. And also, due to Mughal invasion and that colonization, Bharat was fighting for its physical existence to sacrifice the intellectual property. What can we do? Ask questions, put logic before accepting anything, whether it is from West or ours. There should be some research effort on individual or organizational level for the text available. And first and foremost, believe in our heritage. And finally, thank you, Sir Jagdish Rai, Professor Jain, Mr. Veerbhadra, STEM Institute, Devi Welfare Society, International Education Group, dignitaries and speakers. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Arvind Kumar Singh. Very wonderful talk. And your slides were equally beautiful. So
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I'm quite impressed by the amount of information that you have presented. And I think one of the things that I generally feel is that one should give original references. Then this makes the information more authentic. And that is something that we should now bring into this kind of presentations. In many places, you have given original references, but we should support each of these things in more detail. And this will make this a very wonderful talk, even more wonderful. So there are many things that we learned from your talk. And if there are any comments or suggestions, we can hear from the participants.
It was a very nice talk,
Yeah.
covering all the say information from ancient days in India. The Indian philosophy has influenced the science and technology even in the modern days. I will be giving a talk tomorrow, how the Indian philosophy has influenced modern science and technology. And it is very important for all of us to know about our past, so that we get encouraged to do some important work in any field of life, in any field of science and technology. So I also thank Arvind Kumar Singh very much for giving such a nice talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Rai, for your comments. Our next speaker is Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Maurya. And I think he is present here, yeah?
Yeah, sir. I am present here.
Yeah, he is very much here. And he will give message from past to present to future. So, if the organizers want to introduce him.
Yes, sir. Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Maurya is a well-known expert of biotechnology. He has worked at Banaras Hindu University and Indian Institute of Vegetable Research. He was Associate Professor of Biotechnology at Invertis University of Bareilly. At Invertis University, he received various research grants in Department of Biotechnology.
So I invite Dr. Maurya to make his presentation. Do you
Okay,
have
sir.
any slides to show?
Actually, I have a slide to show, but due to heavy rain in my area, that is a Jaunpur, and presently I am in Jaunpur. So since last night, there was a power failure in my area. So I don't have a charged laptop now.
Okay.
I can whatever I have learn it and remember it from my presentation. I will present by myself only, not by PPT.
Yeah. Okay. It's okay. You are most welcome.
Okay, welcome all participants. I am Dr. Sanjeev Maurya. Basically, I work on biotechnology and disease-based research. My PhD work on cancer. So when I was studying in MSc and PhD in Banaras Hindu University, I got lot of idea about my ancient traditions and how my people, how my dharma, how our society uh, make a very much cohort between environment and our society, so that we should have a proper uh, we should have a proper uh, ecosystem. That's why I coined a term. Even I have listened some people also coined a term eco society. And now, if you see a modern age, people think about selfness. So we destroyed soil, we destroyed water, we destroyed everything, whatever we gifted from nature. So, if you see in our society, in our living system, that is called Indian living system. So, basically, our dharma is just a lifestyle. We don't have any different God with different things. We just, if you see ancient gods, we have five gods. That is called Pawan Dev, Jal Dev, Agni Dev, Prithvi Dev, and Akash Dev. They are nature. These things are this is make nature. So if you see our Veda, our Purana, even the best example, whatever I basically prefer to read and get understand from Bhagavad Gita. So one important uh, thing is that so why we make a god? We don't have different god. We don't have any things. If you see different god also, like Pawan Dev, they have different vehicle we use, like lion. The vehicle we use like mm, peacock, and these things. So we integrated our living system, we integrated our living lifestyle with nature. And now people think that they are master of nature, but I hope this is not a case. uh, we are just part of nature. It is, we are not a master. So in Indian tradition, if you see a lot of example, we always integrated from birth to death. We are integrated with nature. If you see our dharma, nature never discriminate human, plant, microbes, living, non-livings, and many more pharma life present on this planet. So one quote I want to take permission from to quote from our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He say, the world today admit that lifestyle has a major role in climate change. I propose one word movement before all of you. This word is life, which means lifestyle for environment. That is called lifestyle for environment. So in our ancient things, if you see these five gods, basically Pawan Dev, that is called god of air, Jal Dev, god of water, Agni Dev, god of fire, Prithvi Dev, god of earth, and Akash Dev, god of ether. That so, if you see modern medicine also describe that these five things make our body. These five things are very much essential for making a life. So our ancient rishi, that is, I used to call scientist. In Sanskrit, you can say rishi, but I used to call scientist. They discovered it and make it in so much integrated with our lifestyle also. So these five things make our body, make our life, whatever, human, maybe plant, maybe microbes also. So these knowledge was discovered by our scholars long time ago. This makes their experience, observation so much fine and minute that above belief system is more relevant in modern so-called civilized society. Indian culture has many great values and great scientific aspects. What I have feel, our values is also a scientific principle. Whatever our dadi say, whatever our nani say, is just scientifically correct because these information pass from one generation to another generation. So ancient Indian scientist Rishi has designed a way of living with scientific aspect without disturbing nature. According to Hindu scripture, all lives have right to existence. Like now we think I can use this, I can use this, I can use that. So, but we always our Hindu dharma, our culture, our lifestyle always say everything have same right to exist on this planet. So human being have no dominant over other creatures. So they are forbidden to exploit our nature. Instead of they are advised to speak. They advise for peace, life with harmony with nature. So uh, if you think according to our mythology, you have listened that uh, I got human body after 84 lakh yonis. Means what is yonis? Means you got human birth after traveling from microbes, maybe mice, maybe peacock, maybe bird, maybe fish, then human. It means you are very much related with these creatures. You are not a master. These creatures are superior because you got human birth after that, not before that.
क्या मैम आप भी दौड़ा देंगे
Guideline for environmental preservation and conservation both. Abuse and exploitation of nature is considered as injustice and very much um, adharma. So I hope ki these ancient messages is very much useful for present and very much useful for future also. So this whatever I have learned it, I have remembered it. But with my, if I would able to present my slide, you can get lot of picture. I collected lot of picture, lot of quotes. So I'm unable to present my these pictures and quote Um, Thank you for today's. This is over for from my side.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sanjeev Maurya, for your presentation. We are sorry that you could not present your slides here. It would have made the talk even more wonderful. And sometimes we may again get a chance to listen to you.
Yeah.
And
Yes, sir.
if there is any comment or suggestion or any question to Dr. Maurya, I invite the participants to raise one. If there are none, then I would proceed further to the next talk by Professor YDS Arya. He is going to speak on fundamental scientific research in ancient India. And I request the DV organizers to introduce Professor Arya to the audience.
Professor YDS Arya is a PhD in computer science and engineering. His areas of interest are computer programming, computer architecture, operating systems, and database systems. He was Vice Chancellor of Invertis University, Bareilly. He has delivered talks at many national and international conferences. He is involved in many educational activities of Government of India.
Professor Arya, please
Okay.
come forward.
Sure. Thank you, Jen sir. Am
Thank
I
you.
audible?
Yes, very much.
Oh, thank you. So first, though, as you know, my background is though computer science, but on the age of
Your voice is disappearing. We cannot listen.
oh,
Now it is there. Yeah.
hello.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe intermittent problem, sir. Sorry.
Yeah.
So first, I read out abstract of my talk.
Okay.
That is, sir, I don't have PPTs. I'll just read, so you have to listen. Everybody.
No, that's perfectly okay.
Okay, sir. Many modern scientific concepts were first given by ancient Indians. It is a fact. But due to the lack of documentation and removal of scientific literature by invaders, it could not get its due recognition. Though few ancient Indian scientists are still mentioned in modern science and their contribution is appreciated. It's not totally out, but not up to that level as was the work done. The area of their research is spread over almost all fields of modern science and modern popular practices, mathematics and allied fields, physical sciences, medical sciences, Ayurveda, yoga, astronomy, and astrology. In this talk, I'll discuss the work done by ancient scientists in mentioned fields in the chronological order. We also relate their research with modern research, which is sometimes repeat of their work and in some cases an extension. As an introduction, I'll say that ancient Indian scientists worked in various disciplines as per their area of interest and expertise. We will discuss one subject matter at a time in chronological order to figure out the growth. The subject will be in the order of mathematics, physical sciences, medical sciences, including Ayurveda and yoga, as well as astronomy and astrology. Research in mathematics. So Bodhyan, as was told by Professor A.K. Singh, was first to calculate the value of pi, which is very useful to calculate the area and circumference of a circle, we all know. Also, he knew the phenomena of Pythagoras theorem, which is found in his book Sulb Sutra. Then next mathematician very known was Aryabhat, who was there in 5th century. His book Aryabhatiya, discussing big decimal representation, number theory, geometry, trigonometry, and algebra. He also discusses astronomy. As known to everybody that zero was invented by him, he told that it is a concept as then only comes the new world of negative numerals. The research done by him was purpose-based, which meant for to develop an accurate calendar, better climate understanding and rainfall patterns, fixing dates of seasons and festivals, and calculation of time. He also stated that Earth is round, rotates on its own axis. He also told that moon signs of sunlight. He also states that solar and lunar eclipses are because of movement of Earth and Moon. The next mathematician well known in history is Brahmagupta. He was there in 7th century. He gave the concept of place value for multiplication as it is used today. He introduced negative numbers. He wrote a book, Brahm Supt Siddhant. Because of this book, Arabs understood our mathematical system. Next mathematician was Bhaskaracharya in 12th century. He wrote the book Siddhant Shiromani, containing arithmetic, algebra, sphere, and mathematics of planets. He introduced Chakravarti method to solve algebraic equations, which is nowadays named as inverse cycle. James Taylor contributed to modern mathematics by translating his work. Then Jain gurus were also knowing how to solve quadratic equations. They also described fractions, algebraic equations, set theory, logarithms, and exponents in very interesting manner. Then that was about research in mathematics, which I could collect. Then research in physical sciences. First of all, Kanad in 6th century got his name is called due to the discovery of Kana particle, a very small, very tiny particle equivalent to atom. He stated that it cannot be divided or destructed. Then Vairamir, it was also discussed earlier, in Gupta period contributed by his research in field of hydrology, geology and ecology. He was the first to claim that termite and other plants could be indication of presence of underground water. He found that termites bring water from very deep to keep their houses wet. He also gave theory of earthquakes, relating it with influence of planets. Maybe Dr. Gwal may find some interest in this, or he might be knowing already. Undersea activities, underground water, unusual cloud formation, and abnormal behavior of animals. That is all related with earthquakes. That was found by Varamir, and Professor Gwal has already mentioned that. Then Nagarjuna in 10th century experimented with transformation of base elements into gold-like elements, like Archimedes did in Western world. Though he was not successful in achieving the goal, still he could get gold-like shine. Till date, the technology used in making imitation jewelry. Then research in medical sciences. First of all, Sushruta was the pioneer of medical surgery, who considered surgery as the highest division of healing arts and least liable to fallacy. He wrote Sushruta Samhita, in which 11,000 diseases are mentioned, including various types of fevers, jaundices, and urinary infections. He studied lots of plants for household medical remedies. He was first to come up with the procedure of preserving dead body for further studies. He invented plastic surgery and cataract removal from human eye. He also developed hundreds of medical instruments, which are described in his book. The next in this medical field was Charak, who is considered father of ancient Indian medical science. He wrote the book Charak Samhita on various aspects of medicines. In this book, he discusses various ways to identify different diseases and suggest their treatments. He was first to reason out the vital concept of digestion, metabolism, and immunity. He focused equally for prevention of disease than only curing it. He also gave the concept of genetics. And then last in this series was Patanjali, who systematically presented the great science of yoga, which means yoking the mind to the inner self after detaching it from the other subjects of senses. It defines chit, which is dissolving thoughts, emotions, and desires of a person's consciousness and achieving a state of equilibrium. In his book Yog Sutra, Om is spoken as the symbol of God. He also wrote work on medicine and worked on Panini's grammar, which is known as Mahabhashya. That is what, Jan Saab, I wanted to present it. Thank you all for listening me patiently. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Arya, for your thoughts on ancient India and the contributions made by so many seers and monks from our land. And I hope that it will lead to further studies and research in this area. More authentic work will come follow, which will establish the role of these seers and monks in our history, human history. Professor Rai, do you want to make some announcement?
Yeah, the next speaker is Dr. K.K. Dubey.
Yes.
He has very urgent task, so he has requested me to reschedule his talk. So
Okay.
now the next person will be Dr. Avdhesh Kumar.
Okay, fine. So Dr. K.K. Dubey will talk later on.
Yeah.
Dr. Avdhesh Kumar is here, I think. Dr. Avdhesh Kumar. I do not see Dr. Avdhesh Kumar on the screen.
Sir, actually, Professor Jagdish Rai sir is calling him.
Okay, let us wait for him for a minute.
Sir, Dr. Avdesh Kumar sir is joining in a minute.
Okay.
He is connecting, sir.
I think
Yes, sir.
Dr. Avdesh Kumar is there.
Hello,
Yes, Dr. Avdesh Kumar.
sir, namaskar.
Namaskar. We are
Sorry
waiting
for,
for you.
For the delay.
And yeah,
Yes.
no problem. We
Yes.
can wait for your talk. And is there any introduction for Dr. Avdesh Kumar?
Yes, sir.
Dr.
Please
Avdesh
go
Kumar. Dr. Avdesh Kumar is an assistant professor in Department of Civil Engineering at Innovative University, Bareilly, UP. He is Nodal Officer of the Disaster Management. He is an individual member of South Asia Alliance of Disaster Research Institute, life member India of Red Cross Society, and life member of Society for Environmental Sustainability.
Okay, I invite Dr. Avdesh Kumar to present his talk on ancient Indian resilience innovations in civil engineering.
Okay.
Dr. Avdesh Kumar, please.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. And I'm sharing a small presentation. Kindly give me the sharing rights,
Yeah,
please.
please give him the share rights.
Yeah, I got this.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Oh, so if presentation is visible, so please let me know, and I'm taking it on the presentation mode from my side.
Yes. Go ahead.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. And first, I would like to thanks all the dignitaries and a personal apology. So I could not get the time to connect as the ongoing FDP in our university, and I am the convener of it. So due to those responsibility, I could not get the time to connect at that before that and before the time. So this is a presentation, and I get a very brief time to work on it, but it's a pertinent issue. And as you can see here, the ancient engineering resilience innovation in civil engineering and architecture, we are going to watch its DRR perspective or the disaster risk reduction perspective. Often, when we see disaster management in India, so despite of having a great legacy of so many years, means of the thousands of years, when we see disaster management in India, so we can observe a clear pattern that we are depend on the foreign intervention in DRR, disaster risk reduction, or the disaster management process. Like so, I'm moving ahead my slide. So we can see disasters are not the new things. Basically, what we are calling a disaster, it is actually the process of evolution of Earth. When the geographical conditions or demographical conditions and other type of parameters of the civilizations change and altered with the time. So lots of it's all the change associated during the process. They have some impact on the society, especially when we discuss the changes in the geography. So we can see that it is a not new phenomena that the continent Earth's crust is movable. It's continuously plates are continuously moving from one place to another, and due to that, lots of geographical features, valley, or we can say the hills, they are forming continuously from past from right from the beginning of the formation of the earth. So here we can see the type of disaster that is surrounded with lots of a number of disasters. For our convenience, for our study purpose, in modern disaster management system, we can classify it into the two main classes. One is natural one, and second one is the anthropogenic or man-made disasters. But the new or the latest researches and latest aspects that are incorporating in disaster management domain. So we are now saying that there are only man-made disasters. There is no such thing like the natural disaster, because it is not the earthquake that killing the people. It is the poorly designed building and structure that are responsible for it. If we are constructing or designing the resilient infrastructure, so we can see a number of lives and lots of property can be and a valuable property can be saved through disasters. So here we can see nuclear explosion that we can we can see with the innovation of atomic bomb and nuclear reactor. We got the chance to see these disasters on Earth that were not existed naturally. And we are very familiar with the drought, hurricanes, eruptions, and flood, and later on the chemical contamination. So for our purpose, we have this. We can classify it into the geophysical. It's moving. Geophysical, and we can see another classification, that is hydrological, meteorological, climatological, biological, and extraterrestrial one also. Space hazards also exist, and recently we have globally we have witnessed with a very burning issue, that is a biological one, COVID-19, that put all the humanities on its knees. That impact was so high. But when we see ahead, despite of all the things, we can talk on the roti, kapda, and makan like things. So bread and clothing and the shelter, they are the basic needs of. These are the basic needs of survival, not from today, but right from the beginning of the civilization. So when we discuss the early days, so we can see human uses different types of shelter in the journey till now. So they are also intertwined with the local geographical and environmental conditions that were prevailing at those places. So that's why lots of risk was there. Like if humans were sleeping in an open space, so there are the possibility of rainfall, natural agencies, they can impact the humans. And another, we can see lots of danger from the wild animals, so they start living into the caves. If we see in India, so we can see the signs of the caveman's here, and all around the world we can find this. So this was basically to reduce the risk. Why we need the shelter? To reduce the risk. Before the comfort, it is for preventing ourselves and our families from the various risks. And risks are not associated with the with just from the natural agencies, but from the wild animals, but also from the events or the extreme events or calamities, or we popularly known as the disasters. So this is also a type of shelter. We have popularly hear the name of cyclone shelter. So people are advised to go into the cyclone shelter when a cyclone arrives. So that is why, as you see, you can see in the title, it is a DRR perspective. So disaster risk reduction. What is the meaning of the disaster risk reduction? We can see here with a simple diagram. I have intentionally not used much text here. So you can see that when the width of this trench is high and the depth of the trench is low, so we can say the risk of falling in this trench, we can conclude that it is a high probability to falling in this trench, but the impact will obviously low. And if the trench width is less and its height is also, its depth is also low, so we can say the low probability and low impact. And you can see here in this trench, there are spikes at the bottom. So though the probability of falling into this trench is low, but the impact is going to be high. So low probability and high impact, this is the third condition. And in the fourth condition, we can see a extreme situation where the probability of falling in this trench is high, and similar at the same time, the impact is also going to be high. There is practically, if I say according to this unit, there are very low chances of survival. So we cannot make any risk absolutely zero. So what we can do is we can take this needle down as much as possible. So it is, this entire process is known as the disaster risk reduction process. And when we talk in context of disaster, so lots of calamities and extreme events are very common on earth, in our countries also. So this process of risk reduction become a foremost importance for the survival of humanities. And the role of civil engineering and DRR. So the previous slide was explaining the process of DRR, disaster risk reduction. And here we can see various civilizations in China, India, and all across the world. They try to reduce the risk, both from the natural disasters and from the man-made one, including the invasion or from the foreign invasion from the invaders. So, for example, you can see in this slide the example of the Great Wall of China that was solely built for this purpose by the rulers of that time. So here we can say disaster risk reduction is a multidisciplinary, demands a multidisciplinary approach. Here we can see there are lots of fields or domains that are contributing that are essential to take into account for achieving the disaster risk reduction. So here we can see geology, geography, very important, geomatics, civil engineering, environment, planning, meteorological, and anthropology, sociology, economy, hydrology, and population risk management. This is all when we apply all these concepts for reducing the risk as a whole. So we can say we are reducing the risk of a disaster at a particular place. Whenever we discuss about the disaster management, I will come back onto the main subject after the discussion of these basic things. Till now, I have discussed the situation of disasters, and till now, recently I discussed the concept of DRR, and then I discussed the role of civil engineering and other domains in the disaster risk reduction process. Second, this slide is basically dedicated towards our own culture or what is written in the in our literature. So here you can see the three pictures, 1, 2, and 3. So one picture is from the Matsya Puran, and second is from the Noah's Ark, and this is you can see here this in second picture, and you can see this third picture. This is basically from a movie. So movie's name was 2012, where Doomsday, as per the Mayan civilization, was depicted by cinematography. This was a very popular picture. You have heard the rumor in 2010 or 11 that in 2012 the world is going to end. So they basically produced this movie on the basis of that. So Noah's Ark, it was a vessel that is described in Genesis chapter 6 and 9. So they imagine a great flood, huge flood, and this you can see the pairs of all the animals and granary. They collect the granary and put it all on a single boat, a huge boat. So this was the Noah's Ark basically, and they carry this and save these species from the doomsday. And similar concept is also recorded in Holy Quran, Ark, Safinat, Nuh, and Al Fulk by the name of this terms. And no surprise that our own in our own culture there is a Matsya Puran, and here is a popular story. I think we all are aware from this. So it is basically dedicated toward the fish avatar of Vishnu, and which is also described as the first of Vishnu's 10 primary avatar, and it is described to have the rescue the first man Manu. Manu and Shatrapa, we discuss, we often hear that these are the first two from where the population of the humanity started at for those recorded history in this. And from the Bhagwan Vishnu save the Manu from the great deluge, and this is depicted as a giant fish, often golden in color and anthropomorphically, with the torso of Vishnu, Bhagwan Vishnu, connected to the rear half of the fish Matsya Puran. The main objective of putting this slide here, that as I discussed when I was beginning my presentation, that
Dr. Avdesh, your time is over.
I have the 10 minutes or 20.
No. Your time is over. Finished.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So you can take to wind up the things in 1 minute. Please wind up in 1 minute.
Okay. I will sum up that. So this, because the time is over, so I'm going to discuss the crux of this. When we see the disaster management in India, so we often see the various international frameworks like Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction, SFDRR, and the Sustainable Development Goal SDGs we are following for reducing the risk associated with the climate change. But this is the key documents on which Indian disaster management framework works. So here you can say Disaster Management Act 2005, then National Policy on Disaster Management 2009, and here recent 2019, and Prime Minister 10-point agenda. These are the key. We can see in this slide entire disaster management, almost entire disaster documentation of India. But the problem was when the COVID-19 occurred, or in many disasters, we have seen disaster management plans. They are directed to make at the national, state, and even district level, but none of them worked at that point of time. So यहाँ पर एक बात आती है कि क्यों हमने अपने previous literature को नहीं use किया, despite of having the excellent legacy of that. हमारे यहाँ उत्तराखंड है, and there are lots of coastal regions where we can see excellent indigenous practices that are the part of daily life, but we are not incorporating into our actual disaster management process. So here you can see the some quotations that are documented in our literature regarding the building construction process. So you can see the shlokas associated with the, because of time constraint, I'm not going to read this. So they are dedicated to the soil testing. And here the making of the bricks. We can see that the building construction. And here we can see the soil mortar. Actually, it's a big presentation. I was not aware properly about the timing that was important to me. So that's why you can see making of pillars is also the part of building construction. And similar type of description are documented in our test. So I'm summing up my presentation here. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Avdesh Kumar. And we missed many slides from you because of lack of time. And I'm sure there will be next time more time available, and we will have again an occasion to listen to you. I thank you very much for your excellent presentation. Professor Rai, I think there are no more speakers now in the session.
No more speaker. And
So-
I thank you very much, Professor Jain, for making this session a very successful.
Thank you.
You have done precisely and within the time from 10:30 to 12:30, what we had planned, you have done it. So
Thank you.
we thank you very much.
So next session will be at 3.
Next session will start at 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
And all of you are requested to be present at 6 p.m. at the time of inauguration of the conference.
Okay, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, sir.
With their appreciating ideas, I mention my sincere sense of gratitude to all the speakers and a special thanks to our chairperson. At last, I want to thank the Welfare Society for giving us an opportunity to host this session. Thank you, everyone.